Have you ever met someone who didn't have to speak much, but still commanded the room? What if I told you there's a science behind this? It's not magic. It's psychology. There are 5 silent habits that can make anyone obsess over you. And these aren't just tricks. These are deep psychological patterns that your brain is wired to respond to. Want to know what they are? Let's break it down. Habit 1. Eye contact plus micro-smile combo. You've heard it before. Eye contact is important. But why? What's really happening in our brains when we make eye contact with someone? Let's break it down. When you lock eyes with someone, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This is the same hormone that's released when mothers bond with their babies, when we hug loved ones, or when we build deep friendships. Oxytocin is linked to trust, empathy, and emotional connection. But here's the kicker. Oxytocin doesn't just build trust, it builds attraction. Studies show that when 2 people hold eye contact for just a fraction longer than usual, the brain interprets this as an emotional connection. Harvard University found that when we engage in prolonged eye contact, especially in emotionally charged situations, the brain starts to read the other person as safe and emotionally open. This simple action triggers the fight or flight response, but in the case of eye contact, it's interpreted as a safe, calm environment, and that's why it creates intimacy. Now, let's add the micro-smile to the mix. This is where you inject a touch of intentionality into your gaze. A micro-smile isn't a wide grin. It's subtle, fleeting, and light. It's the smallest upward curve of the lips, almost like you're sharing a secret with the other person, but one they're not quite sure of yet. Why does this work so powerfully? The smile triggers the endorphins, the feel-good hormones, in both you and the other person. Endorphins signal to the brain that something positive is happening. They create positive emotions like happiness, warmth, and comfort. This small gesture signals that you're approachable, non-threatening, and warm without being overly forward. It establishes rapport without saying a single word. And here's the psychological goldmine. People are more likely to trust someone who smiles. Smiling lowers defenses and allows for deeper connection. But here's the real secret. The result? You're not just noticed. You're remembered. The person you engage with will replay that moment over and over in their minds. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel drawn to you. This moment lingers with them because it's emotionally resonant and positive. Your magnetic energy becomes addictive. And here's where it gets powerful. The brain is wired to repeat pleasurable experiences. So the more they think about you, the more they want to be around you. By using eye contact and a micro-smile, you create a lasting imprint on their brain. You've engaged their emotional system, triggering powerful hormonal responses that make you unforgettable. Habit 2. Sudden disengagement. Imagine giving someone your full attention, then suddenly pulling back. This creates a shift in their emotional state. You see, the psychology of disengagement works because it taps into the fear of loss principle. Dr. Robert Cialdini, a psychology professor at Arizona State University, conducted research that shows humans are hardwired to avoid loss. When you pull away or suddenly disengage, it triggers the feeling of loss. And when we fear loss, we tend to become more emotionally attached to whatever is at risk. So, by engaging fully and then creating a gap, you make the other person realize what they might lose: your attention. Habit 3. Mystery in movement. Have you ever noticed that some people walk into a room and all eyes are on them? What is it about their movements that make them so captivating? Movement is energy, and when you move with deliberate intention, you carry a magnetic aura. According to a study by the University of Miami, body language can influence how others perceive our confidence and trustworthiness. Smooth, controlled movements convey confidence and control. People are naturally drawn to those who appear centered, intentional, and at ease. Fidgeting or erratic movement creates anxiety, but calm, deliberate actions communicate power. When you walk slowly, talk with rhythm, and make your movements intentional, people are subconsciously hypnotized by your steady energy. They'll start to focus more on what you're doing, which amplifies your presence. Habit 4. Unpredictable kindness. The last habit, unpredictable kindness, is powerful because it confounds expectations. Think about it. How often do we encounter people who are consistently kind? More often than not, kindness is conditional, transactional. But what if you break that pattern? Research from the University of California shows that random acts of kindness have a profound impact on how people feel about you. They found that unpredictable kindness creates an emotional dopamine loop, making people not only appreciate you, but also want more of your energy. The brain loves unpredictability, especially when it's positive. So, when you choose to be unexpectedly generous or warm at times they don't expect it, you set off an emotional addiction cycle. They begin to crave your attention, your energy, and most importantly, your presence. Habit 5. Saying less than necessary. Now, the second habit, saying less than necessary. It sounds simple, but here's the power of silence. When you talk less, people are forced to listen more. You become an enigma, an intriguing mystery. They want to figure you out. What do they mean by that? Why do they stop talking? I need more of that energy. The less you give, the more they crave. It's not about withholding information. It's about controlling the flow of your presence. Let people lean in, let them fill in the gaps. When you say less, they're left wanting more. And in their minds, you become a magnet. Here's the truth. You don't have to be loud to stand out. You don't need to chase people to make them respect you. You don't need to perform for attention. You simply need to master these silent habits that make you irresistible and unforgettable. These habits are powerful because they tap into the human psyche. They harness the most primal parts of our psychology: connection, curiosity, fear of loss, and the need for positive reinforcement. Master them, and you'll command any room you walk into. People won't just notice you. They'll obsess over your energy, your presence, and the way you make them feel seen. If you're ready to build your magnetic presence, comment, "I'm mastering my aura" below. If this video opened your eyes to a whole new way of interacting, like and share with someone who needs to hear this message. And of course, subscribe for more insights into psychology, power, and presence. Remember, the most magnetic people don't chase attention. They attract it by becoming unforgettable. Are you ready to start mastering your presence today?